Good afternoon everybody and welcome to this latest city profile for the city of Ahmedabad in Gujarat in India for the Green Infrastructure and Sustainable Cities module. Now, Ahmedabad is a place that we've talked about quite frequently throughout the module as a place of contrast and a place where GI has been both invested in quite strongly, but also in fact that it might have quite significant negative impacts on the socio-cultural or the economic standing of the city. It's also in a location which is very strongly linked to economic prosperity. So Ahmedabad is the main city in Gujarat, over 5.5, potentially 6 million people, and is deemed to get bigger by between 1 and 2 million people over the next 15, 20 years. So the city is really sort of thinking about how it invests in its environment and how it invests in green infrastructure to promote livability for its citizens. And again, one of the things that we have to think about is the way in which issues of scale, size, location and different landscapes are actually integrated into this. So the city has the Ahmedabad Urban Development Authority, so AUDA, and the Ahmedabad Metropolitan Corporation, so the AMC. And these have been responsible for the creation of strategic policy for the city. And what they've looked at there is this integration of new residential and homes, the promotion of commercial activity, improved transport links and transport routes, and of course thinking about the environment and how the city reacts to climate change, but also to environmental impacts such as earthquakes. So what we see in the city is quite a large disparity in terms of the spatial footprint. The older, more compact city has far less green infrastructure, is far more densely populated and far more polluted, simply because there's a lot of cars there and not a lot of green space. Whereas as you move across the river from the east to the west, you get newer sort of areas of development, new bungalows, so larger homes, which tend to have green space there as well. Ahmedabad is also has greenbelt land to the far west, but that has been encroached upon by new settlements, partly for moving people away from the Sabarmati riverfront, which we'll talk about in a moment, and partly because people are seeing it as free land or land which has less legal control over it. So the nature of green infrastructure and the way in which it's developed is very partial in Ahmedabad. There's a lot of economic discussions around the use of land and promotion of economic prosperity, and the way in which politics shapes this. So Narendra Modi was the former head of state in Gujarat, and he was the one who gifted the land to the Sabarmati Development Corporation to look at improving the riverfront and remodelling this 16 kilometres of area. So there's some quite clear tensions between the way in which policy in the city is being developed, the way in which the economic drivers of that policy are marginalising the environment in some cases, and ways in which they're almost creating a forced inequality in the fact that they're starting to privatise some areas of green space with entrance fees. So issues about access are very important, and where green spaces are and how people access them, and whether they can access them freely at all times. Who can use these places? Are they for the rich? Are they for the poor? Are they for everybody? And what benefits do they provide? And all this is situated within quite a drastic climate, so incredibly hot during the summer, then followed by monsoonal rain, which has in the past sort of led to quite extensive flooding, and the fact that people are trying to ensure that they have sufficient water and electricity supplies to maintain their livelihoods. So in terms of Ahmedabad itself, there's a legacy and a history again of having parks and public places with lots of trees in the city, and this is prominent throughout India. And some of the areas such as the Law Garden, which is on the picture on the far right, have this quite formal layout where people go for a promenade and go to use the space, sit under the trees, and it's quite a formalised area, so it's not that easy to do things which are not simply walking or sitting or being with your family. And also there's guards there, so it's not really allowed to play football, for instance. The picture in the centre is Kankaria Lake, and this is a redeveloped site with a big lake in the middle. It's a recreational area which is sort of framed by green infrastructure to make it look pretty. It does have some habitat functionality. There are monkeys there are lots of different birds, but the paved area is about capacity, about getting lots of people into that green space at any one time, and there is an entrance fee. It's only small, 10-20 rupees, so maybe 30 pence, but it's sufficient to moderate the number of people who can use it. One thing that is good about this site though is that before, I think it's 7 or 8 in the morning, you can go and access it to go for a walk or go for a run or do your exercise. So there are ways in which you can access this place which are slightly different to in other times of the day. And the picture on the far left is from Badr Plaza, so in the sort of the east and the south of Ahmedabad, and it's a refurbished square, and it's a place where there used to be a market there, and it was just dust, and they've created it into a formal plaza. And again, there's lots of paving there to allow lots of people to use it at once, allow motorbikes and cars and things to go past. But they have created seating, and they have created more shade, and they've created a place which is now not necessarily a destination park, but a location that people actually want to spend time. So a lot of these things are about creating the amenity value, or creating the location or the setting that people actually want to spend time, and then trying to sort of ensure that people can use it throughout the day. In addition, you have the Sabarmati riverfront, which is the picture on the right in the middle, which has been used to drive the economic prosperity of the city. And this is, as we've talked about in class, a big 16-kilometre channelization of the river, with a promenade and lots of street trees, but very little shade, very little water, and lots of trees have died. But this is open and accessible to everybody all the time, so it does provide a free GI resource for the city, which is not moderated by an entrance fee or by the police or guards. The middle picture is one of the two parks that were built along the Sabarmati riverfront, and these are limited to access. They have an entrance fee, and they are managed very, very extensively. So they take water out of the river to water the grass and keep it green. So in terms of providing a high quality and almost a luxury green infrastructure, the redevelopment of the Sabarmati has been quite prominent in providing places for those who can and those who will pay to access GI. And this is maybe against some of the ideas about the equitability of green infrastructure, that it should be for everybody, that's a natural resource. But in places like India, there's a level of moderation there about how many people can use it at any one time. And things like keeping off the grass here is one of their rules, so you can't really engage with it fully. The picture on the left is from Palomar Gardens, and it's in a location, again, a bit like the Law Gardens, where you've got a very formal place, a formal layout, ponds, and places that people can sit and have their lunch or talk to their family. But this is in the centre of the city, so it's quite a prominently used place in the morning, with older people doing their daily exercise, going to see their friends. In the evenings, with families and couples and younger people who can use it. So it really does offer a full range of uses of GI throughout the day and throughout the year. And this is in stark contrast to the concretisation of the riverfront and the private gardens. As although Palomar Garden does have a gate and it is closed at night, it doesn't have an entrance fee. So some of the key issues in Ahmedabad around green infrastructure are access, and around the functionality of what they're trying to do and who they're trying to do it for, whether they fit into this big grand development plan of AUDA and the AMC, or whether they're there to actually provide benefits for the local people. And there remain contestations between all these different points of view, and invariably those who have little money or in very low paid jobs are the people who are most excluded, whereas the people with the most income or the best paid jobs are the ones who can benefit most from these. So it offers quite an interesting counterpoint to some of the ideas that come through in the European literature or the UK literature about access all the time, and about places being for everybody. Okay, thank you very much, and see you all soon.